Hey guys, welcome to BHL Next. I'm Michelle Madison. Megan is out for today, but we're still gonna keep the party going. Make sure you check us out on Twitter and Instagram using the hashtag BHL Next. And also you could catch me on Twitter at Mich_Madison TV, but mostly on Instagram at Michelle_Madison TV. So we're gonna bring you the best of everything that's upcoming next on today's show. Our guest for today is the beautiful, talented Ashley Mills. And also we're going to bring you some all the fresh beats, next in casting and next in nah. So as far as next in beats, the game and Jeremiah has a new song called All Eyes, and it's not too different than what we see with other music videos, but watch and tell us what you think.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live. Next.
Yes, we had to use the formation for Miss Ashley Love Mills. If she could stand up, she would give you guys a whole show because she was all ready with the choreography, right? See, she's all into it. Sorry.
I got hot sauce in my bag.
Oh, we're gonna have to go into. I gotta see what your favorite hot sauce is because she is
I'm
from.
so hyped.
Nothing wrong with being hyped. She's a Southern girl, so I gotta find out what your favorite hot sauce is. So for today's show, we're gonna be talking about fresh beats with the game. Next in casting, Bow Wow has a new job, and next in not all you pet lovers, there's a new app that I think you guys will really appreciate. So in Fresh Beats, the game has his new song, All Eyes, featuring Jeremiah. And the song is pretty salacious, especially towards the end. But we're going to play a clip now and let you be the judge. Make sure you join the conversation on Twitter and Instagram and also Facebook using the hashtag BHL Next. Let's look at the video and you tell me what you think.
Let's get to it. Let me lick you in places you never been licked before. Take you to places you never been before, like London, Paris. See that Lamborghini outside? We can share J&B without the marriage. Horse and carriage, senorita. Snapchat dog filters live from Ibiza. Breakfast on the beach, that means sex is on the beach. You looking like a fruit platter. I'ma bite into your peach and I think about the massage.
Wow. You know, I was feeling it. I am feeling it. It's I'm gonna join you a little bit on my conversation, Ashley. It seems romantic. You haven't seen the end though, because we're only playing 3 minutes of the video clip. So spoiler alert for those who haven't seen this new video. It's all nice and sexy. You know, he's doing all these great things, and they're all doing all these things together, like working out, going out to eat. You know. And then she surprises him at the end, blindfolds him, sits him down, opens a door, and then walks in another girl. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, well, to each its own, but I don't share. 3 things I don't share: my toothbrush, underwear, and a man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think Ashley just answered my question. You're not.
Totally.
No. Okay. Yeah.
You got it.
Moving on. So next in casting, Bow Wow has a new gig. You know him. He was on 106 in Park. He was also on CSI, the digital series to that. And now he's joined Christina Aguilera's new project called Tracks. Now, if you're a fan of Lip Sync Battle, which I totally am, this is a spinoff of that show. So Spike's really riding this train. Kind of like the karaoke thing going on. So with Tracks, what it's going to be 2 groups or 2 opponents. They only listen to, say, a beat, a track, or just a lyric to a song, and they have to guess what it is. So it's kind of like charades meets karaoke of a sorts. And Christina Aguilera is the executive producer, so you won't see her in every episode. She's going to make some cameos. The show airs September 1st. It doesn't have a regular occurring date as of yet, but they're going to be showing 2 shows back to back, and we'll be riding on the heels of Lip Sync Battle on September 1st. So I'm actually excited to see this show, and I'm kind of I'm in a weird place with Bow Wow right now, so I won't even go into that. Is something you think you'd be watching?
Yeah, I might check it out.
You was all in Formation, so I could see you.
Yeah, shoot, if Formation gets played, I'm totally winning.
Yes,
totally winning.
We need to get her on one of those shows. And coming up in Next or Nah, you pet lovers. Okay, so people with kids, they know how it is when the kids are young. You want to, see what's going on. You got cameras in the house, spying on the nanny, all that stuff. So what if you could do it for your pet? Well, some smart people thought of the idea, and it's called Pet Chats. So all you need is Wi-Fi and basically a plug somewhere, and download the app on your phone. So it's the system that you put in the house, and you can monitor your pet and video chat with them, and also your pet can video chat with you. Like it presses a button that says paw, and if you want to give him a treat, you click a button and it'll give him a treat virtually. Like you press the button, but the treat gets let out in the little thing that's on the wall. Super cute, but I'm just kind of like, gosh, guys, these pets are getting treated very well. I feel like I need to be a rich person's dog in a next life or something, because
I would probably do my pet like that.
You're one of those people.
Yes, I am.
No offense. What kind of dog what kind of pet do you have?
His name is Jojo, and he is a Shih Tzu, and he is my baby. He is my son.
The Shih Tzus are the small, really small
he's
ones.
Like maybe
you put in a
10 pounds. Yeah. He's full of fire. He is always lit, and that's exactly how his mommy would do him.
Oh, so you're gonna get the pet chats?
It's a possibility.
Okay.
But he's gonna want a real treat, not a virtual one.
No, it's virtually. You press the button.
Oh, and then
it lets the treat out.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's gonna. Yeah, we're all for it.
Yeah,
he's gonna love that.
Yeah, I think we have a little video. So if you guys want to actually see how it works, let's see if we could get that up and show the viewers. There we go.
Oh, nice.
Super cute, huh?
Yes, it is.
So you guys tell me, is this the next thing or nah? Make sure to check us out on hashtag using BHL Next and tell us what you think of pet chats. I think we already know what Ashley thinks of it, and I would say I'm gonna give it a 2 thumbs up too, because it's super sweet. And speaking about super sweet, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BHL Next. We have Ashley Love Mills. Woohoo!
Yay!
She's going to, she plays Valerie in Tyler Perry's new series that's the first written, that he wrote and directed, but it's the first original series by TLC, and it's called Too Close to Home. She plays Valerie. Mm-hmm. I had the honor of seeing the first episode the other day and meeting you. I thought we were just going to meet today, but we ended up running into each other. So it was, and you looked awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh, that romper was everything. And it was white.
Yes,
I didn't want to come near you. I was like, yeah. So we're going to be getting into this discussion, talking about her new project. But before we get there, this show is about, the process of being the next big thing. And I'm sure Ashley, like the rest of us, she had her starting points, her roots. And so we're going to get into that first, and then we're going to talk about all the other great things that's come out of her career since. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So you're originally from Orlando.
Yeah.
And you grew up in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's talk about that, because I'm from Florida. And what I know about Orlando from my times there, it may be a little different from North Carolina, because I feel like North Carolina is where you're gonna get like, it's like where you go when you want like some really good food.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Orlando is like Disney World.
Yeah, that's that pretty much describes it. Yeah, I grew up in Orlando. I lived in Orlando until I was like 15. So literally every single year, my dad would buy me year-round passes. So I'd be at Disney World, Universal Studios, Busch Gardens. I mean, I did it all. I've ridden every ride like at least 1,000 times.
Wow.
Yeah, so I moved to North Carolina when I was 15. Lived there through college. I went to NC State University. After college, started poking around in the industry, and then I ended up finding my way into pageantry, and I won Miss North Carolina USA. And then after giving up my crown is when I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, which is where I reside now.
So when you competed in the pageant, that was your first time?
That wasn't my first time competing in a pageant. I did Miss North Carolina Teen USA when I was 17, and I didn't win that year, but I knew that one day I wanted to come back and win Miss North Carolina. So I took time off, and then I came back after college, and then eventually I won. Pageantry wasn't something that I always wanted to do ever since I was a kid. Acting was, and it was something I just kind of fell into. And somebody actually had sent my picture in when I was in high school to the organization that runs the pageant and just suggested that I do it. So they sent me a letter asking for me to enter, and I actually threw the letter away.
Wow.
And a couple weeks later, my dad was in town visiting, and we saw the Miss Teen USA pageant on television, and I was watching the girls, and they just looked like they were having a lot of fun. And so I was like, oh, maybe I'll try that. I could do that. My dad literally said back to me, he was like, you can? I was like, yeah, Daddy.
So he was challenging you. You're like, just because of that, I'm going to Dad.
Yeah, a little bit. So I ended up getting my pastor at my church to help me raise all the money. And then I competed that year, and there was like 96 girls competing in just the teen division. And I placed in the top 10-6 overall. So I thought, well, okay, well, maybe I'll come back and do it. And then, I came back, and then I won Miss North Carolina USA in 2012.
Wow, that's an awesome story in itself.
Yeah.
Because we have a couple things in common, and that's one thing I did in college was I did a pageant, and it was because I was told that I couldn't, so I did it.
Right.
So
Don't you love it when people tell you the stuff you can't do?
I know, and you just do it just to be spiteful. But my little thing about pageant people, but you're like one of the cool ones, I should say. I feel like pageant girls are like, that's some next level stuff. Like, I feel like, but maybe because you didn't grow up in it, like, little baby into, that's why I asked. I was like, oh, that's still a great accomplishment in a short amount of time. But those girls are,
it's kind of a dog-eat-dog world out there. There are a lot of girls that have been raised in it, and they say this has been their dream since they were a little girl. And especially competing in North Carolina. North Carolina, it's a southern state. They say it's a red state, if you will. So competing in that state, it was going to be a little bit more challenging, and people said that I would never win, and it was impossible. Not only just because it's a very tough state to compete in. I think it's like 4th on the list of the most competitive states to compete in across the board out of the country. I think California is 1 just because it's a big state. New York, Texas, and then North Carolina. And then also because I am African American, there's 2 different things I'm facing. And so I was just like, okay, that's fine. You can tell me that I'm not going to win. And even my parents were not very supportive of it. And I came out on top, and then eventually I won.
But you showed them all because you also made history.
Yeah, I was the 5th African American to win the pageant since the inception in 1952.
Wow.
So that was a really, really big accomplishment. And
the 5th, and this was 2013.
This was I won in November 2012.
5 people.
Yeah, 5 people.
Wow.
Yeah, and there are a lot of African American women that had tried, came close. Several women I knew that got first runner up. So they were very close. But I came on and I won, and it was definitely a moment I'll never forget. I remember still to this day standing on the stage and doing the ugly cry. It was terrible.
The ugly good cry, girl. You work. I love hearing stories like that.
Yeah, but it was humbling, so that's why I cried. God had granted me my prayer and answered my prayer. So
Now, okay, doing a little pageant. I shouldn't say little. Coming from a pageant background, and also now in the media, and as an African American woman, do you feel a sense of responsibility within our community, especially because you're out there and people are watching everything that you do and say?
Yeah, oh, definitely. And that's just comes with being in the industry. People are always going to be watching you. Yeah, but because I am a woman of color, I am sort of I'm an example, and I'm an inspiration to other women. I remember when I won Miss North Carolina, I had so many African American women, and not just them, but Hispanic girls, Asian women, because pageantry is an industry that is dominated by white women, and there's so many different obstacles that you have to face because you are a woman of color. And so you have to, be able to win that pageant, just open up a door for other girls to see that, I can do this too. And not only just pageantry, but with anything and, that you're going after, you can totally come out on top regardless of what you look like. Now you're probably gonna have to work a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But I get why people look at me the way that they do, and I'm glad to be somebody who can inspire others to reach for their dreams.
Now, speaking about inspiring and reaching for dreams, so you made history in 2013, and we currently have another woman that's making history in the political realm, Miss Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
So as a woman who's made history, what advice would you give Hillary Clinton, who's making history?
Oh my gosh, what advice would I give Hillary? That's a really tough question because Hillary is literally Hillary's like done it all. I guess I would just say stay true to yourself, be very, very transparent, and oh my God, just really staying true to yourself, because people are always going to say that because you're a woman, you can't do something that a man can do, and really I think that she's more than qualified to do the job of running this country. Staying true, being honest, and I think I'm going to leave it at that because I feel like I'm just going to go. Well, there's so many different things that we could talk about with politics.
Yeah, but we could say that she definitely is qualified.
Yeah,
I don't
she's
think
more than
anyone
qualified.
could argue with that.
Right.
And so you competed in the pageant world, which is very competitive, and now you're in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Another competitive. You just love hard, don't you?
Yeah, I like to make it hard.
The harder, the better. So how has, I guess, some of your experiences in those learning curves, how have you translated into this career path?
I tell people, I really do think that being in the pageant world has definitely helped me to get, thick skin, because that's an industry where there's a lot of rejection. And I think the biggest difference between that and Hollywood is it really doesn't matter, what you look like aesthetically. In Hollywood, it's really just about, some level of talent that you do have. You just may not be right for the part because you look similar to maybe the lead actor or whatever. And pageantry, unfortunately, it's a beauty pageant. So the first thing that people notice is your beauty.
Beauty's subjective.
Right.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, I think it just really prepared me for rejection. So with, being in Hollywood and going on auditions, I think I've done probably 150 or more auditions just this year alone. You get used to the rejection very easily. I don't ever take it personal. Even if I, send in a really good audition, you just never know what the casting director is looking for. It may not even be that your performance wasn't good. It could simply be that you look too much like somebody else, or you're too tall, or you're too short. It's just maybe not a good fit. So you just can't ever take things personally. And I don't.
Good. See? Lessons of wisdom. Don't take it personal, guys. This is Hollywood. So Orlando, North Carolina, Atlanta, Black Hollywood.
Yeah.
So this may be obvious as to why you moved, but I want to know why the move to Atlanta.
So, and to be quite honest, I moved to Atlanta literally like a couple of days after I gave up my crown as Miss North Carolina. 2 reasons. I knew that there were no opportunities for me in Hollywood or North Carolina, but I wasn't ready to go to LA or New York. Second, all of the money that I had made prior to winning Miss North Carolina and everything in my savings, I had spent it all in investing my time and my efforts in trying to become Miss USA. Didn't win Miss USA, so I was broke.
You invested in yourself.
Yes, in myself, basically.
You invested in yourself.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing too with pageantry. People think that you make a lot of money from that. It's this glamorous life when really you're working pro bono for an entire year. You're doing charity work. You're at, doing public appearances and speaking, to all kinds of audiences. And I was traveling all over the country promoting my anti-bullying campaign at the time. And I put like 100,000 miles on my car, and really nobody was helping me do any of that. So I needed to go back home and get refocused and try to figure out how I was going to make a living. So I moved in with my mama.
Hey, if I could move in with a parent right now, I so would do it. And no shame.
Yeah.
The economy's bad. No shame. And that's
the biggest thing is you can't have any shame with that. And at first I think I was, because I never really told anybody, what I was going through. And then even my parents didn't even really understand what my financial situation was at the time. But I always just, again, I had this vision and this dream of what I wanted to do in being an actress. And slowly but surely, once I moved to Atlanta, I started networking and finding, acting classes to get into. And that's actually how I found my agent. on my first day of class, I performed, and one of my classmates was like, "You're so good. Let me introduce you to my agent."
That's so agents are hard to find. I just want to let you guys know that.
Yeah.
So that was a blessing.
Yeah, that truly was a blessing.
People don't usually do that.
Yeah. He was like, "Let me introduce you to my agent." So he invited me to a party that the agency was throwing, and that's how I got connected with them. And they almost offered me a contract pretty much on the spot.
What?
And things started rolling from there. And then it's been going ever since. Yeah.
So guys, she's had an exceptional path. I have to say that things have really been. You've been having some favor.
Yeah,
and I love that. It's aspirational because everyone's story is different. So
Yeah, I think I've had some favor from God, but I also I have worked hard, and faith without works is dead, for one.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
say that one more time.
Faith without works is dead. Mm-hmm. You can want something all you want, but if you're not doing your part and trying to get it, it's just not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I'm very prayerful. So every single day, and I really do believe in speaking things into existence. And so I believe that when you put something out into the universe, and the more that you do that, it's always going to come back to you. And so that's what I've always done. I'm going to
skip ahead because you said something very important. Mm-hmm. So speaking things into existence.
Yeah.
And you're currently on Tyler Perry's current project, Too Close to Home. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about how that happened.
So I've always wanted to work with Tyler. And it's funny, we've been talking about pageantry because when I was at Miss USA 3 years ago, Jeannie Mai, she's a great radio and TV
Love
personality.
her.
Yeah, she's awesome. She interviewed me and she was asking me who was somebody that I looked up to and that I wanted to meet and work with in the industry one day. And I said Tyler, and it wasn't just because of his work, but also his story, which was always very inspiring to me, just because he is also somebody who, in a sense, came from nothing, and he, started writing his plays and struggled with getting people to come see his plays, and then now here we are, 16 years later, boom, he's got an empire. He's got Tyler Perry Studios. And so, I always wanted to work with him, and I told her then that I wanted to do that. And she actually announced it when I was competing live on NBC for Miss USA. So, the world knew it. And so it's like she even put it out there for me. So, literally 3 years to the day, I was shooting at Tyler Perry Studios on June 16th, 2016. And with that whole process, I was kind of to the point where I was sort of ready to not maybe give up, but take a break from acting. And I told my coach, maybe a week or so before that I was going to take a break. My dad had been sick battling cancer, and I was modeling too. So I just figured maybe that's just not where I needed to focus right now. You don't want to put your energy on something that's not going to give you anything back. And I was just being practical.
Well, financially.
And that too.
That's the struggle with this business.
Yeah, you got to spend money to make money. And that's something about this industry a lot of people don't realize. You're investing so much in yourself all the time, acting classes, taping auditions, and paying for someone to help you to ultimately, get stuff sent into casting directors. And my agent was like, no, I think you need to, stick with it a little bit longer. Everything for you is going to be about timing. It's not because you don't have talent. You wouldn't be with us if, you didn't have any talent. And then a week later, I got the email and the call about coming into the studio to read for Valerie. And I almost didn't because I was sick that day. So I ended up taping the audition with my coach, and I really wasn't satisfied with it, but they sent it in anyway. And a couple days later, I got a call from a friend saying that I was on final callback for the role of Valerie. A couple days later, went to the callback, looked around. Nobody else was auditioning or reading for Valerie. It was just me there, and I was like, this is weird. Why is there no other girls reading? Then, 2 days later, I booked the show.
What?
Yeah.
See, even when you're sick, that's how committed you have to be in this business.
Yeah.
There are no sick days.
Yeah. Even when you're not feeling well,
bedridden.
even when you don't feel like you got to get up and go to work. That's what you got to do.
Yes, you got to go and do it. Now, let's talk about Valerie's character. Yes. I feel like she's she's a goody two-shoe.
A little bit.
Is that? But this was only.
You've seen the
this
first
was
episode,
only.
so
Yeah,
you
I
can
saw
say
the
that.
first. I'm sorry, guys. I got to see.
She got to see a little preview.
Yeah. So, but you tell us about Valerie.
Yeah, she's a pistol. She's got a lot to say. She's very transparent and honest, but at the same time, in regards to the show, it literally is too close to home. So everything just always hits too close, and she's very loyal to her best friend Anna, and they both work in the White House. And when she finds out that Anna, does something really bad and is a part of the scandal, she's hurt by it, but also she's devastated because this is her job on the line too. And Anna, she finds out that Anna has lied to her about everything. Not only did she not only is she a part of the scandal, but she also lied about where she came from. She led Valerie to believe that, you know, she comes from this really well-to-do family in the Hamptons and has all this money. And here you have Valerie, who is this really hardworking African-American woman who's had to put in so much time to get to where she is working in the White House.
Double.
Yeah, and then you've got Anna over here, super pretty, you know, blonde girl who didn't have to do much in a sense. So yeah, there's so many different reasons for why she kind of does the things that she does, and I don't want to give too much away about the show.
Yeah, we don't want to get you in trouble.
But yeah, you'll start to see as the season progresses more and understanding more about why she handles things the way that she does. And she's got a lot of layers to her. There are moments when she's like super happy. A lot of times she's frustrated, and she voices her opinion and lets people know that she's not for any of the nonsense. And then by the end of the season, she kind of softens up a little bit. So those are probably some of my more favorite episodes to film, is because people get to, you know, kind of see different sides to her.
What's too close to home for Valerie in this show? What's her too close to home connection aside from Anna?
Aside from Anna, I would say when they go back to, I'm trying not to give too much away, but I mean it's more than obvious that you have two worlds. You have people that are working in DC, then you have everybody from Alabama. I think because she is hardworking, and dedicated, and she wants to do well in life, she goes to this place in Alabama and she sees that people are struggling. She sees this trailer park.
Is her character scared? Because I was scared for her. I mean, I'm sorry, I wouldn't go. I would be like,
she doesn't want to go, but she's forced to go because something else happened. Somebody goes missing. So there's a reason why she goes to Alabama. She was trying to not go, and she basically says, in one of the episodes, she's like, yeah, we need to get away from Anna. We can't, you know, like, seriously, you need to go, like, go away, like, disappear. And no matter what she does trying to get away from Anna, Anna is right behind her, dragging her down. And yeah, so she ends up in Alabama. And I think that's the part that kind of hits close to home with her, is like, people really do live like this. People are really struggling. People are really like living from paycheck to paycheck.
You thought
and she doesn't want that.
Yeah, but not her. Her life in comparison to your characters.
I mean, you know, Anna has lied about all of this, and so she always had thought that Anna had all this money, and she and instead she probably felt like she needed to keep up with that too. It's kind of like keeping up with the Joneses, if you will. And so to see that she's like lied about everything, I think there's always two sides of the coin. I mean, Valerie, and I'm exploring my character as I have this conversation with you. It very
That's
well
what
could
we
be
do.
like, it could very well be a thing of where she's like, oh, so maybe I am better than you. Maybe I'm not what I thought that I was in comparison to
or
who
just
you
being
are.
thankful of where you
Yeah,
are.
and also that too. But knowing Valerie when she's in the middle of this and handling this, she's, I don't know about that.
No, okay.
Because she's
Valerie's pretty.
She's a lot to handle, which made her very fun to play.
I was, but she's fun though.
Yeah, she has her fun moments at closer to the end of the season. I'm excited for people to see it, because the show in general is kind of a different dynamic. It's totally different for Tyler. You know, he definitely has all of the, you know, the Black audience, and the majority of the shows that he does, you know, you typically have an African American cast, and this is different.
You really are the only Black person on the
show. I am the only one.
So that is totally different.
But you know, I was having this conversation with my cast members the other day, because they were getting the questions regarding, you know, the race thing.
A lot of people were asking that,
and it's sometimes, I guess, maybe challenging to answer that especially if you're not African American.
Yeah, I say, let's be real.
Yeah,
it's hard for a white person to answer that question, because they don't want to. Yeah, they don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah, and that too. And it's funny because me and my cast member, Danielle Saver, who I love so much, and she plays my best friend Anna on the show. She was like, so how do I answer that question? Because I just don't know if I can reach the Black audience. And I said, well, you can. It's about your delivery and understanding the message behind the show. And for me, when people ask me about the show, I say that it's about ultimately survival. You have people in DC, and you have these people in Alabama. And yes, I am African American. They are white, but to be quite honest, we're all going through the same thing and trying to do the same thing, which is survive. We're trying to be successful. We're trying to get closer to our goals. And that is what Tyler's message in all of this is about. Family. It's about loyalty, because especially right now with where we are at in this country, and there's such a racial divide, this is the type of show that I think that we need to see on television, because it also, again, proves and reinforces that it doesn't matter, you know, your ethnic background or your race. We all are really going through the same thing, and we shouldn't be separated based on just race and ethnicity or what our background is, because we're very similar. We're living the same lives if you just open your eyes and pay attention to it.
Yes, more people, open your eyes. Now, this Tyler Perry project is also breaking grounds in other ways. You guys shot 8 episodes.
Yeah.
And look at the cameras. 8 episodes in 8 days. That is completely unheard of.
I hear.
And I think you guys may be changing the game.
I think we are changing the game. And Tyler kind of touched on this at the screening. You know, people have never, you know, been on board with the type of work that he does, so nobody gave him any money, so he had to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
So when you're shooting really, really fast, that means you're on a budget. Time is money. So yeah, for us, we did 8 episodes in 8 days, so that literally is like, yeah, an episode a day. We were shooting about 55, 60 pages a day, just depending on the schedule, depending on weather.
And one take. A lot of people are saying
Yeah,
one
yeah,
take.
yeah.
They had one take.
So typically how it would work is we would do one take, and Tyler shoots with 3 to 4 cameras on set at all times, which is actually very brilliant. Because what he's doing, and because he knows exactly what he wants before we start filming, he doesn't waste any time. So when he's shooting, and he gets the shot that he needs, he'll call cut immediately, even if that means you're in the middle of a line, and then he'll start to do covers.
Gotcha.
So we're not doing this thing where we're setting up and starting from the top. You don't have the time for it. And it's something that I think that the industry is going to start paying attention to, because there's a lot of hurry up and wait when you go to set.
Yes. Yeah, my hats go off to actors for that, because for us in the TV and the radio world and digital, things do happen that quickly. But for film, it's no.
Yeah, and it's so much time and so much money is wasted. It shouldn't take, 10 hours to shoot 5 pages.
Yeah.
That just doesn't make sense at all. And I think people are really going to start to pay attention to this too, because the quality of the show is extremely good. And for me, being a fan of Tyler Perry and following his work over the years, not just because I'm on the show, I definitely think this is going to be one of his best projects to date, even from a cinematic perspective. And I probably may even sound like a dork, but I studied film in school, so I love this.
I know that you actually know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I really, in a sense, I do.
Background.
From a cinematic perspective, this is completely different from everything that he's ever done. I mean, it's not soapy. It doesn't have that soap opera feel, if you will, that people keep saying. The lighting, and before he was always shooting like on a sound stage on a
so it
set
always
somewhere.
felt darker.
Yeah,
but this
very
one
dark.
Felt made sense.
Yeah, there's
the lighting.
The lighting, and that goes back to cinematography. And I think that you'll start to see a lot of changes in everything that he does going forward, just because of where we're shooting now. So before, he was shooting on like 30 acres of land at Tyler Perry Studios. He just bought Fort McPherson, and they were building earlier this year. So we are the first show that's ever shot anything on that lot, and that lot is 300 acres.
And everything was shot on the lot.
Yes, everything was shot
Even
on the
White
lot.
House.
Yes.
You guys duplicated it to the T, because he was saying there are 4 doors in the White House. Like everything was replicated.
The art department, oh my God, and the crew, everybody has just been so on it and insane. And there's a house that we shoot in as well, and it took like 10 days, maybe not even 10 days to build that house. But yeah, everything is more spread out, it's more open, and we actually shot on sets on location, so not everything was inside inside the studio on the soundstage. So it really does give you this cinematic feel that is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it really makes you feel like you're there, and that's something that I think the audiences are definitely going to gravitate towards. Not only just because it's Tyler, but it's something new, and it's a great story too that everybody can relate to.
Yeah, I think everyone could relate to wanting to come from a rich background, but you from the struggle.
Right, because I
can relate to that.
Struggle bus.
But a lot of the different character dynamics, I absolutely love that you guys have Heather Locklear on there.
Yeah, she's great.
Like, guys, I'm an 80s baby, and I absolutely I was like, fanning out. I was like, I'm such a nerd. Like,
I love her. Yeah, she's good.
How was she like to work with?
Heather has a presence about her.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, when she enters into the room, she's there, and she was kind of quiet when we first got on set, but she went right to work, and it was just amazing to watch. Yeah, she's a professional. I mean, she's been doing this for how many years now? Like 40. So it's like, maybe not 40. I love Heather, and I'm trying to catch up because I'm not saying
she told us her age.
Right? She wasn't. She kind of told on herself at the screen. I'm not trying to call her old.
I'm playing a first
great.
lady, so
Yeah. But she knows exactly what to do and executes every time. So watching her on set is just insane. Yeah, I really admire her a lot for her work, and I've always been a fan. And so to hear that you're doing a show with Heather Locklear, it's like,
must be
what?
nice.
Yeah. I enjoyed it a lot. She was great. Her and Danielle, as well as Kelly Sullivan. And Brooke Ann Smith. These are the 4 young ladies that I worked with on the set every single day, and I learned so much from them. They are awesome, the veterans in the game, and made me step up my game as an actress. Because I went in like a little nervous and uncertain, like, am I going to be able to be on the same level that they were? And they just helped me to rise to the occasion, welcomed me with open arms, and we all have great relationships with each other.
Wow. So you technically have 2 projects going on that are coming out, because you also have NWA All Saints Eve, correct?
Oh, Loa. Yeah, Loa.
That's how you pronounce it?
Yeah,
Loa?
Loa. LWA.
Is that French or something? Or
yes,
Creole?
it is French.
Loa.
Loa, yeah.
I put a little extra.
Loa All Saints Eve. Yeah, that's an indie film that I shot actually last summer in Nashville. And that movie is basically about where I play a girl. I live in New Orleans. And I am a voodooisant. So my
Say it again.
voodooisant.
What's that?
It's a person who practices voodoo.
Oh, and it's called a voodoo
Practitioner, voodooisant.
God,
don't make me spell it.
Okay, I won't. I'm a bad speller.
I'm thinking.
But no, I've never heard the terminology, so I'm being educated. I'm from Jamaica, so we have our stuff, and there's Santeria, but I've never heard. Oh, I'm not educated now. I just love the way you say it. It just sounds all sexy.
Oh, great. I'm going to start saying it more now.
Yeah, voodoo.
God, I wish I could speak French. It's such a sexy language.
Yes. Oh.
But yeah, basically the story is just about me. I play Monique in that movie, and I own this voodoo shop, and my parents unfortunately passed away. And there's not a lot of backstory on that, but as a way to make some extra money, I get my best friend who works for me at the store to create these voodoo swamp tours that I normally do not go on as a way to make some extra money. And I don't go on them because I believe in voodoo. I believe in the power of voodoo. I believe that it is real. And I actually went to New Orleans before we started filming to get a better understanding of the religion. And it's something that people take very, very seriously. It's a religion just like anything else, and it's founded on the beliefs of Roman Catholicism when the Haitian slaves were brought over to Louisiana. And on this particular day that I decided to go on these swamp tours, one of my employees calls out sick, and things just start to happen. Like a series of unfortunate events. People start disappearing. And by the end of it, I am becoming like Laura Croft and killing folks. I killed 2 people and cut a guy in half, and then I sliced a girl's neck.
So it's like horror action?
Kind of.
That's
It's very sci-fi. It's very sci-fi-ish, if you will. Yeah, there's a lot of special effects and things like that. And it was a fun film. I remember the night that I shot a lot of the fighting scenes, I was so tired and so sore after it was over, because I pretty much do all my own stunts.
Oh, so you did your own stunts?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it's a low budget indie film. There's one me.
I love it. There's one me.
Yeah, so I did them all. But it was a lot of fun working on that set, and just the people and the relationships that I built with the people from the film. So yeah, I talked to the director actually about 2 weeks ago, and we're discussing distribution, things like that. But that was a fun film to work on, and really helped to just open up my eyes and educate me more about the culture and the religion of voodoo, because it's very real, just like any other religion there is. There's Christianity and all these other things. So it just made me respect the culture so much more.
Yes, I just love New Orleans. So
yeah.
Give me a reason to go, and I'm there.
Yeah, get me on Bourbon Street.
Oh, so you also, kind of going back to other projects that you've done, bullying seems to be a very sincere thing to your heart. Why?
Well, and this is something that's probably very hard for people to believe. In high school, I was bullied, and I was bullied really, really badly, to the point of where I would be afraid to go to school. I would tell my mom I was sick. I'd play sick. I have images in my mind
it's
right
still
now.
Fresh, like
of the things that was said to me. I can remember certain people, what they were wearing at the time of when they made comments to me. Rumors were spread about me. I can remember being in the lunchroom and food was thrown at me. A girl mushed a Twinkie in the back of my head. Girls threatened to cut my hair.
Was this in Orlando or North Carolina?
This was in North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah, I can remember girls would wait for me behind my locker and threaten to beat me up. I had boys and that would threaten to rape me if I went down certain hallways. Like, it got really, really bad, and it was to the point of where I almost transferred schools.
Did you ever get any clarity as to why?
Not really. From the boys, there was a lot of rumors going on around about me, and it was really because I just didn't want to,
Yeah, you didn't want to be like every.
I didn't want to be. Yeah, I didn't want to be out there like that, like
Yeah.
a lot of the other girls were. I think now that I'm older, I realize that it was probably a lot of jealousy, and at the time, I was very naive to that because all I wanted to do was just fly under the radar, fit in but not be seen. And I realize now, going through all of that, that it probably wasn't even really for me, because entering into that pageant, Miss North Carolina Teen USA at 17, is kind of what saved me, because I was at a low point of where my grades were falling, and I was a straight A student. My grades were falling. I didn't feel like I was worth anything. And yeah, suicide was definitely something that I had considered at the time. My parents weren't doing really well, so I was getting no attention at home. I just felt so alone. And pageantry is kind of, in a sense, what saved me. And with that being said, I think that this was something that I went through from, not for me, but for other people, because when I was Miss North Carolina, I had so many kids come up to me and tell me, thank you so much for telling me your story. Like, you were the reason why I don't want to commit suicide. You're the reason why I want to, aspire to be something great one day. You're the reason why I'm going to keep going no matter what. I had so many kids write me letters and basically tell me that I saved their life. And so even in the midst of my struggles and being Miss North Carolina and being broke and being tired and never getting any rest and putting all those miles on my car, like, I realized, like, I was being used to bless other people. And that's the biggest thing, is when you're on when you're in the public eye and you have a platform, you really should be using it to bless other people. That's really what it's all about. When you have that voice, you can be that voice for other people who can't speak for themselves.
Very true. I love that, and thank you for sharing that. That's a very personal story.
Yeah.
And keep doing that, because the kids, the kids these days definitely do need that positive role model.
Especially with social media, because it's at a whole new level, and I didn't experience a lot of that, if not really at all, because Facebook came out my senior year, my last semester in high school, so I didn't even have to deal with social media at the time. So I can only imagine what it is like for kids today who have to deal with bullying on social media and all that kind of stuff. I can't even begin to imagine.
Yeah. But we're all going to be here. I think we all have a responsibility.
Yeah, we do.
A kind word. You don't have to do a lot, but at least, say something.
Yeah.
So you ooze like role model to me.
Thanks.
So I wonder, are there any roles that you would not play?
Any roles that I would not play? I guess.
For example, because Halle Berry, she had Monsters Ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would probably do a role, maybe something like that. I don't know about all of the sex scenes, to be quite honest. But the biggest thing for me as an actress is for one, you can't ever judge your character. That's the first thing. Number two, figure out what is the point, what is the story, what is the purpose being told behind the story. And if I can rock with that, then that's the thing that I look at. If there's a role that I'm questioning, I need to make sure that there's a purpose behind whatever it is. Yeah.
All right, that's a fair answer. That's fair.
Yeah, I don't want to say there's no role that I wouldn't play.
Yeah.
Because again, it's like people have a reason for why they do what they do, whether you understand it or not. People have different backgrounds and maybe where they came from, whatever their struggles were in life, maybe why they do what they do. So, yeah, I'm more so about storytelling, and if it's a good story, regardless of what people are doing, then I probably would rock with it.
They're an artist. Don't judge them.
Yeah, artist. That's what we do. Artist.
Yeah, you're an artist. So before we go, are there any other upcoming projects that you're working on, or anything that we could support you in?
Well, first and foremost, Too Close to Home. It airs Monday, August 22nd, 9 p.m. for a 2-hour series premiere on TLC. Also, we may or may not be, I'm hearing good things, so keep supporting the show as it's airing, because we're hoping to get into season 2 possibly soon. That's I don't have the official word. I haven't heard anything from the network, but this is me speaking it into existence that we will get a season 2.
It's happened.
So yeah, just support that right now, and then just kind of keep an eye out for me, because there are other things that'll be going on probably before the end of the year. Yeah, so I'm finishing up formulating my team. I have an awesome team backing me now, my agent and then my awesome publicist. And
hey, publicist.
Yeah, she's here in the room with me. So yeah, there's a lot more to come. Yeah, from me soon.
Well, your star has already started shining, and it's only going to get brighter. So definitely,
you.
we loved having you on BHL Next. And where can people find you on social media?
My biggest is Instagram. It's just my name, at Ashley Love Mills. Same thing for my Facebook, my Snapchat, which I love. I love to snap. And my Twitter are the same. It's at @real_Ashley Love.
And I'm Michelle Madison. You could find me on Twitter at MICH_Madison TV and Instagram at Michelle_Madison TV. Make sure to check us out, BHL Next. Use that hashtag and let us know what subjects or guests you'd like to see on the show. And make sure to come back, and Megan and I will keep it poppin'. Well, thanks for joining us on BHL Next.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.